I'm Ken Fain from Island Carpet Tile and Hardwoods. I'm so excited because a friend of mine for 30 years, Bill Houle, who has been a professional in this business, he's been an installer, he's been in retail and distribution, he's helped manufacturers. There's almost nobody I know who knows as much about floors as Bill, and lately he's making a career out of professionally inspecting floors when people report problems. Welcome, Bill.
Hey, Ken.
What kinds of flooring installations are you called upon to inspect?
I do retail installations in new construction. The majority of the installations now are luxury vinyl plank. That's 80% of my inspections.
Really? Even more than wood?
Plank. More than wood, much more.
What are the problems most commonly found?
Cupping and damage to the edge.
Now, would you say it's mainly due to the installer or due to the circumstances of the house? How often is it a problem with the product?
Very rarely is it a problem with the product. Even if it's a problem with the site, the slab not being flat, that falls back to the installer because it's ultimately his responsibility to verify that the flatness meets the manufacturer's specification before installation. Again, most of them that you see, it's going to end up being flatness. Deflection along that locking system will cause it to loosen up, disengage, then your gapping comes into play.
So how perfect does the substrate have to be to avoid that?
Most manufacturers are 3/16 within a 10-foot radius, and it's all directions, so it's not just one direction. You got to check all directions, but 3/16 and 10 feet is not much.
With laminate coming back, one of the advantages that people are talking about is the solidity of the product, and the weight of the product may keep those butt ends together a little bit more, whereas more of a likelihood of a problem with LVP. Is that true, or is that just my imagination?
It's a valid argument, because when you're talking about LVP, your heaviest cores, your thickest cores on a luxury vinyl product, 6 to 7 millimeters are your heaviest. So your base laminate is going to be 8 millimeter HDF, and then the majority of your laminate is going to be 14 millimeter HDF, so you got a much stronger lock there.
When it comes to the question of product defects and the limitations of products, what should they keep in mind?
Choose a reputable retailer. That's the best thing I could say.
Right.
The retailer has a responsibility to inform them on how to care for a floor when they purchase it, because in all honesty, you can look on the internet for one thing and you'll get 5 answers. It's just somebody with a keyboard. Trust the retailers and choose the right products, and don't wet mop your wood floors.
Right.
And
We've talked about that.
But other than that, I really can't. There's not much advice because every floor has an application. Do I like hardwood flooring? Yes. Would I put it in a room with 4 dogs? No.
What I'm getting from you is that most of the products that you're going to buy out there on the market from a reputable retailer have structural integrity. We don't see a lot of defective products. We see a lot of misuse.
It's misuse or improper installation. So many times things get overlooked that we're right there in black and white. And it's not rocket science. We say all the time, it's not rocket science, it's flooring.
That's such an important point. Thanks to Bill Houle, who's a professional flooring inspector as well as somebody who's had years of experience in the industry. This is Ken Fain from Island Carpet Tile and Hardwoods.